So we're here again, guys. We have got What's Next in Raid episode 7, and I'm really excited to deep dive into what's going to be coming up in the foreseeable future for Raid Shadow Legends. And this one is actually going to be consisting of Accessory Ascensions. We've got the Phantom Shogun's Grove, which I assume is going to be the Accessory Dungeon. We've got the Sylvan Watchers Faction Wars, which obviously was anticipated for the start of July. We've got champion filters, so interested to see what they're going to be changing to that. Hopefully there's going to be a way to have some search function for champions throughout that. There's something called Hydra Clash, which I'm interested to see. And then, of course, new champions being teased a little bit towards the end of this one. And it will be my first time actually watching it, so I'm really excited, just as many of you guys may be as well. Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of What's Next in Raid. While we may not have anything quite as big as Live Arena this time around, we've still got some pretty sweet features to show off. Let's get this show on the road.
Hydra Clash.
Firstly, as promised, the opportunity to ascend your accessories just like artifacts is coming soon. The core mechanics of Ascension will be the same, except you'll need a different resource called Extract instead of Oil.
Well, from first glance, they look pretty cool, but as to be expected, it is going to be a separate currency, so you cannot use your oils in order to rank up your accessories, right? Of course, being two separate dungeons for two separate things, but from first glance, they look pretty cool, right? They remind me a little bit of potions in a sense, especially this one reminds me of the Lesser Void potion. All right.
In a nutshell, accessories of any rarity that are at least rank 4 and level 12 can be ascending using extracts. That unlocks a single bonus stat that increases with each new ascension level, complementing your bling with a lovely little stat boost for the champion wearing that accessory. That's pretty much it. But where do we get these magical extracts? El Name.
Are they not going to break down exactly what we can get from those? It's probably just going to be the same as the normal stats, right? Flat stats up here. I was just wondering if they was going to add something like speed into there or percentage stats, because right now we have like attack, we have accuracy, defense, resistance, so it's probably just going to be keeping in the theme of what we already know for our accessories, right? Whether that be the banners, the rings, or the amulets. But all right,
Pretty much it. But where do we get these magical extracts? El Name the Sand Devil now has a partner in crime. The Phantom Shogun's Grove is where you'll find these extracts. But like every other dungeon, there's someone there to stop you. Akumori the Phantom Shogun. He won't just let you take his stuff and run. Coming straight out of Shadowkin and Sylvan horror stories.
Oh, guys, we got ourselves a Shadowkin boss. Let's go, man. That's right up my street. You guys know that I love the Shadowkin. And this dude is looking freaky. Look at him.
This badass undead daimyo has a few choice words for would-be thieves.
Oh, man.
He comes fully armed with a new debuff and some unique mechanics that will force you to improvise and adapt on the fly. We'll release a separate feature guide video that will explain the strategy for this fight in greater detail, but here are a few appetizers. First up, Akumori has a shiny new toy, a new debuff called Enfeeble.
Enfeeble? It looks like a bone crusher, man. You can imagine he's just going to be breaking all of our bones, but they did say that they're going to be doing more of a deep dive into the core mechanics of this boss, so this is probably just a teaser for what would be coming up in more detail, right?
Any champions under this debuff can only deal weak hits. Ouch. And the more weak hits Akumori receives, the higher his special shade counter goes. Double ouch. As you have probably guessed, that's bad. Very bad, in fact. It increases Akumori's critical rate and critical damage, makes him immune to a bunch of effects, and sets him up to deliver devastating single-target nukes that ignore.
So if you are granting those weak hits, if you're underneath that buff, meaning that we're probably going to be relying on a debuff cleansers like Mithrala Life Bane or Underpriest Brogni with A2 when he kind of removes the debuff. I'll be interested to know if he's putting more than just this feeble buff on our allies, because if there's a bunch of them, those single target debuff removers might become a little bit, you know, like Doom Priest or Tuhanarok in a sense. So it'll be interesting to know. But at the top here, they've got this counter. Very similar to, it reminds me of the Griffin a little bit, where it increases his crit rate, his crit damage, and some other stats. And he's actually ignoring specific conditions, which I see here. Ignore the fence, which is a bit worrying. Like, if this gets up to 40, and he does a crazy hit, how much defense may he be ignoring from those nukes, right? So, there's a lot of things to take away from here, but I'm sure there's going to be some fundamentals to counter this in a sense. Maybe every single time we cleanse a debuff, maybe removes a counter. Let's see.
Or protective buffs. That's without mentioning the fact that once the shade counter is almost full, Akumori begins to ignore 100% of your champion's def as well. Triple ouch! This fearsome Phantom
100%.
Shogun also has a block passive skills debuff on one of his skills. Fun, or maybe not so fun fact, this is the first boss in Raid that's able to place block passive skills. Don't underestimate it. Losing those sweet passive skills at a critical moment is going to hurt. It's not all pain and suffering though. Remember that shade counter? Well, Awakened champions can lower that counter with their skills, so make sure to bring a few along for the fight. There's more good news too. Akumori
Wait, did I miss exactly there, or did he just break it down weird?
going to hurt. It's not all pain and suffering though. Remember that shade counter? Well, Awakened champions can lower that counter with their skills.
Oh, Awakened champions can lower that with their skills. No, Raid. No, 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 no. Ah, man. I just noticed that we've got some green screen behind us. Should I turn off my game? So you guys... Sorry, guys. That better? Oh, no. It's because I've got like a green screen effect on. My apologies, guys. We're just going to have to deal with it. But... it's interesting that he said that. Let me just listen to that one more time. I want to make sure that I'm not hearing that wrong.
Suffering though. Remember that shade counter? Well, Awakened champions can lower that counter with their skills, so make sure to bring a few along for the fight. There's more good news too.
So are they saying that we're going to need Awakened champions in order to reduce the counters? Maybe that's for 6-star ascensions, we've reduced it by 6 or 5 by 5. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but that's what I'm taking away. But you guys can let me know in the comment section if you're seeing that in a different way. I need to remove this thing. 1 second, guys. Let's go on to screen capture. I'm going to do this live. Take off these filters. We need to remove the green screen. All right, delete it. There we go. We did it, guys.
Akumori is one of the few bosses who doesn't have multiple AoE attacks. So champions that can use taunt can distract the big guy from the squishier members of your team. And
taunt. So we cannot... Is that specific to taunt or is that to provoke as well?
Big guy from the squishier members of your team. And, as always, cleansers and champions who can block debuffs are going to be a must, especially to keep that nasty new and feeble debuff off your
So we can block the debuffs. That's interesting to know.
team. But that's enough about the Phantom Shogun's Grove. Keep an eye out for our feature preview in the future, and we'll take you on a proper deep dive.
It's interesting, right? Because there's some champions that have capability that says this cannot weak hit. Let me know in the comment section which kind of champions those are, but I've definitely seen that before. Maybe they'll be coming into fruition, but it seems that block debuffs and cleanses and the taunt buff in particular, which is actually very niche to the Sylvan watchers at the moment, so maybe they will be releasing some more. I believe there's like, is it Green Warden Runic that can do it? There's Druid in the Runic and champions like that. So...
for now, let's move on and see what else Raid has in store. It has been quite a while since we released the Sylvan Watchers, and we've added to their faction over time. By now, you've collected and leveled up some of these enigmatic forest warriors, so it's only fitting they finally join faction wars with a crypt of their own. Don't expect any surprises or unique...
guys, this is insane. There's an Eternal Soulstone up for grabs here. And an Immortal Soulstone. So for players, that's kind of like, you know, you've got Lydia already, maybe you're getting the extra rewards, but it does still show as Lydia as the final one. So maybe everybody's going to be getting these rewards, even if you're a little bit behind maybe, or they're just, or maybe it's just a bonus. I'm not too sure. I can't recall what they did with Shadowkin. I believe that it was for players that's finished it, they just get bonus rewards instead of Lydia being the final one. But it'd be interesting to see how they do that.
changes. We're going the same route as we did with the dwarves in Shadowkin. So, all previous rewards except for Lydia the Death Siren remain the same.
Okay.
And when the Sylvan Watcher's Crypt is added to the game, you get more milestones to conquer in Faction Wars. Lydia will remain the ultimate reward though. If you already reached but forgot to claim her, don't worry. She'll be sent straight to your inbox when these changes go live. If you are still some stars short when the update hits, you'll need to complete the new crypt to earn her. So, get moving. Speaking of collecting champions...
Yeah, so guys, if you are very close to Lydia, you might want to think about trying to get those final stars done. Otherwise, you will have to push the benchmark in order to get your Lydia. But it all comes down to your discretion on if you feel like you're able to do that, right?
Roster of champions in Raid has certainly grown in size, so we have prepared an awesome quality of life update to the champions filter. Behold. Available both in your collection and on the Battle Select screen, this filter will allow you to browse through your champions using more filters than before. We've made it super easy for you to get to the champions you want.
You can get some basic parameters based on 6-star, legendaries, voids. Okay, so there's a few things added into here that's actually pretty interesting. I like this. Maybe you could make it easier for farming as well or ranking up champions. But what else was at the bottom there? Based on faction, champion tags, other effects. Champion tags is an interesting one as well. That is an interesting one.
Using more filters than before. We've made it super easy for you to get to the champions you want to use for each game mode. For starters, you can just type the champion's name in this field. Yeah.
Oh, finally! Oh my god. Oh, finally. They actually did it. They have put a search function in the game. Oh, that might just be my favorite part of this whole thing. Better than the Shadowkin boss. There is so many times I'm trying to search for a champion and I just can't find them. They're somewhere in the game. And this is going to be a huge function. And it's very simple, but it's going to be effective for all of us as players, right? So let's go, man.
That easy. You don't even need the full name. Just a few letters will do.
Oh, nice.
Then you have the most basic options to select champions who match a certain rarity, affinity, rank, and type. So if you want to see all your legendary magic attack champions of rank 5 and above, you can do that. Want to see those same champions that belong to one or several specific factions? No problem. We've got that covered as well. You can make it even more specific by searching for champions with a specific type of aura skill. And we're not just talking select champions with an increase attack aura. Oh no. You'll be able to specify whether it's an attack increase in arena, dungeons, and so on, and whether it applies to all allies or just a specific affinity. Neat, right? What? Not enough for you? All right. How about choosing champions who can apply specific buffs or debuffs? You can pick multiple options from the selection.
This is a lot better than I would have ever expected coming from them, if I'm honest, guys. This is very in-depth and it's really going to help out a ton of players, in my opinion, in trying to locate specific buffs they're after, debuffs, or champions they're not aware on their rosters that can actually do these certain things that they might be looking for. You might be looking for a leech champion and you're not aware of which ones you've got on your account. You can simply go in here, who does leech, and boom. You've got a full roster of champions that may be able to place that debuff. So, I'm a big fan of this whole champion filter upgrade. Really big fan of it.
And the filter will bring up all champions you have who can dish those effects out. And just in case that's still not enough for you, we have the same options for instant effects too, such as healing, turn meter manipulation, manipulating buff or debuff duration, etc. Finally, we've not forgotten champion tags. You can add those to your filter parameters as well. All in all, we tried to make the champions filter as comprehensive as possible, and it will ensure that team building is easier than ever before, especially for those of you who already have hundreds of champions in your collection. Let's move on to one of the updates coming a bit further down the line. We have a new
just before we even get into this, I've not seen it yet, but I really hope that it's in a way where it's fighting another clan. When they say Hydra clash, I'm looking to clash like other clans or other teammates or something. So, live up to the expectation, please. Come on.
Activity in store for clans, the Hydra Clash. It kind of works like a mini tournament between clans that starts every week and provides players with an extra source of goodies. Because who doesn't love more goodies, right? The rules are simple enough. 5 clans are matched against one another, and whichever clan deals the most damage to the Hydra and earns the most clash points wins. Simple. How do you earn these goodies, right? The rules are simple enough. 5 clans are matched against one another, and whichever clan deals the most damage to the Hydra and earns the most...
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So 5 clans in a bracket to coincide with maybe some weekly rewards that you might already be getting. And it looks like top 3 will be getting a bonus chest based on personal points. Now, I'm not sure what I feel about the personal points thing. I feel like if you're in top 3... players should just all be getting the same rewards, right? Like, it's a team effort. Everybody should be able to get these. And there's not a way like the clan boss to purchase extra Hydra boss keys, right? Which does keep this balanced, of course. I'm all for that. But, like, you see how with the clan boss, like, if somebody can't get to a 1 key, they just buy the extra things to get up to that. But in another sense, it kind of gives that incentive for players to want to hit harder damage to enable to get these extra rewards. But you guys let me know what you feel about this. I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. Like, it brings it into 5 clans. It's not like a 1v1. It's got 3 out of the 5 clans will win something. And as long as you deal like a decent amount of damage at a baseline of 35 million is showing here, you'll be able to get some extra rewards. Now, I'm not sure what this will be consisting of. Maybe some soul stones or some stone skin or some protection, whatever that may be. It's something already added to what's already existed in the game, right? So,
most Clash points wins. Simple. How do you earn these Clash points? Smack that Hydra's head as hard as you can and use multipliers to your advantage. These multipliers appear on the first battle for each.
Clash points multiply times 3. Okay, wait, how does that work then?
And use multipliers to your advantage. These
Clash points 100 so you can get like triple points towards. What causes that though?
multipliers appear on the first battle for each difficulty, with the multiplier increasing as the difficulty ratchets up. Of course, no one will get to be sneaky and reap the rewards of their clan's hard work unless they participate. Players need to reach a certain damage milestone before they are eligible to receive any of the chests that are available through the Hydra Clash. What's more, the size of the reward directly depends on how much they contributed to the clan's performance. You'll need to put in a shift to earn the rewards. While we do have rewards for the second and third places, you'll definitely want your clan to coordinate and grab that top spot. Now, let's take a look at the goodies that await you inside those chests. Protection and stone skin accessories.
Ooh. Whoa. Accessories? Oh, man. Is that going to add up to the bonuses?
Protection accessories will be unique to the Hydra Clash, and as the name suggests, they are going to complement the good old protection set, bringing the overall number of items and bonuses to a whopping 9.
Oh, Ultimate Death Knight's going to be having a field day. Oh, man. If this is going to add an extra bonus, can you imagine a 9p stone skin Ultimate Death Knight? I'm going to be sitting there for 15 hours trying to kill that dude. Hopefully, I don't know how this is going to work. Let's see.
But first things first, we're going to adjust the balance for this set a little. Namely, we're increasing the chances of buff protection when you have 4 and 6 pieces equipped to 25% and 50% respectively. On top of that, you can get 20 more points of resistance, 8% more speed, and increase your chances of protecting buffs the wearer casts to 75% with the
That's a big buff.
full set. Not only that, but we're adding another new effect for the full set. Champions will deal 5% more damage for each buff placed on them by a champion with the full protection set.
Damn.
This is a must for support champions. Allowing them to place and protect buffs is a big deal, as well as increase the damage output for other champions. Then, we have stone skin accessories. The new bonuses are as follows. 8% more HP for 7 pieces of the set equipped, extra 40 points of resistance for 8, and for the full set, we're increasing the shield granted at the start of each round from 50% of your champion's HP.
So it's not going to be extra turns. It's just going to be an extra stone skin shield, which is pretty much impossible to get through anyway.
To 75%. If you want to really ruin an opponent's day, a couple of champions with full protection and stone skin sets will ensure that your precious buff combo is almost completely untouchable.
Yeah, there is some times where I get through it, but it's like very rare. Usually I'm just waiting for it to fall off or I strip it myself or something like that. But you guys let me know, do you have strategies where you just actually try and crack the stone skin shield in a sense?
Coming to the end of the video, so we'll wrap up with our tradition.
Oh, it's a fire rosin. It's a fire rosin, guys, with his tail missing. Who chopped it off?
Traditional parade of upcoming champions. The Gallon Pack's getting some sweet new legendaries, including a fiery salamander warrior, a vicious and ferocious orc, and a terrifying Ogren chieftain. Outside
That dude looks sick. I like that.
of the Gallon Pack, there's plenty more coming, including a pious Templar of the
Interesting. I like that aesthetic from Sacred Orders, maybe.
Sacred Order.
Yep.
The pipeline is stocked full of awesome champions on the horizon.
That dwarf looks nuts.
So keep your eyes peeled on our social media for their arrival in game. And that's everything we have to show you this time around. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you're excited about these upcoming additions to the game. Don't forget to hit.
Well, there we go, guys. That was episode 7 of what's next in Raid and stuff that we would be expecting in the foreseeable future. There was some really cool things in there, like some takeaways for me would have been the champion filters. Big fan. Hydra Clash kind of engaging more of a CVC in a sense without the cost of actual resources. It's something that we would be doing anyway, but it just adds that competitive nature to that. I might incentivize players to want to use all of their keys or try and get as much damage as possible and push the limits to see if they can beat some of the other clans out there. And I'm all for that. Like, it's not costing us energy. Keys are free and we get like these triple point sections or however that was working. I'm actually a pretty big fan of that. We do get some accessories in there for stone skin and protection. The sets was a quite big bonus. Maybe the protection one had a bit more value than the stone skin one, which I'm all for, I guess. Like the stone skin extra shield, 75%. It's gonna be a pain, right? Still for those UDKs and stuff. But for me, the way that I hit stone skin is I strip it or I just wait for it to finish pretty much, or use AoE champions. New champions coming out. We've not got much news on that. Sylvan watches Faction Wars. And then the Shogun's Grove, which is a Shadow King boss coming up soon for the accessory dungeon. He looks like he's going to be tedious, but obviously there will be ways around it. I just hope that it's not balanced in a way where literally it's going to be catering only the players of higher star ascensions on their champions, because that's just going to ruin it a little bit for me. But there we go, guys. That is going to be all for today's video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Have an amazing day as always, and I'll catch you guys on a video soon. Peace.